When you're writing T-SQL code, one of the things that you're going to be concerned about is handling errors as they pop up in your code. And we're talking about errors that are returned by the compiler as your code is running. Now, what are the chances that your code could produce some sort of error message? Well, it's somewhere right there around 100%, right? Maybe even a little more than 100%. There have been all kinds of studies out there about how many useful lines of code the average developer gets out in the day, and it's somewhere around 10 or 12. There's a lot of errors that come, and there's a lot of errors that can crop up as things change in our environment. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of structured, consistent error handling so that your program doesn't just break, but it handles the errors in an elegant way, gives the user a chance to correct them. Now, T-SQL supports the try-catch block. This is very similar to the block that you've used or seen out there in Visual C#, C++, and so forth if you're a programmer and if you've been programming in other environments. And it is this particular structure right here. We're going to use, notice, begin try, and have some statements, and end try, and these are considered the protected code. Any errors that happen here cause control to jump down in between begin and end catch, and then all these statements run. Now let's talk about these various aspects of this syntax. In the try section, a group of statements are enclosed between begin try and end try. Now, if an error occurs in any of the code in that try block between begin and end try, control is passed down to the catch block. Now, you need to be aware that the try block will catch any execution errors that have a severity error level higher than 10, but they don't close the database connection. Now, if you close the database connection, obviously, then you've had kind of what would be considered maybe a catastrophic or a serious error, and you've lost your connection to the database, and so there's got to be some other handling done there. Now, if there are no errors in the try block, then control resumes immediately after your end catch statement. So it goes past the try catch error handling routine, and it starts to execute statements. Now, let me give you a visual on this in just a minute. But on the catch section of the try-catch statements, there's a group of statements enclosed between begin catch and end catch. And if an error occurs in the try block, then control jumps down to this catch block. And if no errors occur in the try block, the statements that are in the catch block will never be executed. So you only get execution in the catch block when there's an error in try. Now let's take a look at the basic syntax. So what happens if we have an error up here in the try block, then control immediately jumps down to the catch block. All right, and these statements execute. If there are no errors up there in the begin try, then as soon as we get to the end of these statements, we jump down to the first statement after the end catch, and these statements never run right here. So that's the visual on it. Now what I want to do is jump out into the Management Studio, and I want to show you a very simple example. So I'm going to type begin try, and I'm going to come on down and type end try so that you can see how these work. And then I'm going to do a begin catch, and then I'll do an end catch. So that's the general outline or the general structure right there. So what I'm going to do in the begin try is I'm going to generate an error, okay? I'm going to select 1 divided by 0. Now that is obviously going to generate an error for me, a divide by 0 error. Now in the begin catch, I want to drop in a select statement. And I'm just going to grab it, copy it in, and this is what it looks like. We can report the error. Notice these are system functions here, and this grabs the error number that happened, the severity level, the error state, the error procedure, the error line, and the error message. And then notice there's my end catch. So I won't highlight anything, so all of this will run. This is all I have on the screen. And notice when I execute this, what comes back? I get no column name up here, but notice it did jump down into the catch section and it ran this select statement. And notice my error number is 8134. The error severity level was 16. The error state is 1. The error procedure is null. The line was 4, and the message is divide by 0 error encountered. Well, let's go up here and play with this. I'll make that go away. And if I put in here, for example, a print statement that says no errors, you're going to notice that if I leave it like this and execute it, then I'm never going to see the no errors print out, because as soon as an error happened right here, it jumped down into here and began to run the catch information and gave me this result set right here. So this time, let's go back up and let's do 1 divided by 1. And obviously, that's not going to generate an error. And so notice we got a no column name, 1 divided by 1 equals 1. But on our messages, we got no errors, and all of our catch stuff, none of this stuff ran, right? Because we didn't have any errors and we never jumped into the catch portion. Now, go through this simple little example. You'll see the code out there in your working files. It's error handling example. Get this burned into your brain, get your head wrapped around what's going on here, and then you can expand out. Keep in mind, we can write whatever code we want to. We can call a store procedure to give the user a chance to change things. We can change things for them. We can do all kind of stuff. But that's a simple look at error handling in T-SQL.